Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter, Comparing Quantities. That is your chapter 8. Let's see the first topic. The first topic in this chapter is ratio. Let us read the important points in the topic ratio. The comparison of two quantities of the same kind is referred to as ratio. This relation gives us how many times one quantity is equal to the other quantity. So we use ratio to compare two quantities of the same kind. Okay, I'll give you an example. Students, have you ever gone to the kitchen and see how your mother cooks the rice? In some houses, we usually cook the rice in the ratio. If we are taking 1 cup of rice, we pour 2 glasses of water. So here the unit is cup. If we take 1 cup of rice, we use 2 cups of water to cook that. So what is the ratio of rice and water here? It is 1:2. 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water. This is the usual or general example for ratio. The same thing happens when we make dosas. For 1 cup of rice or for 2 cups of rice, we take 1 cup of urad dal. Just go and ask your mother in any other ways she uses ratio in the kitchen. Okay, children? Now, once again, we use ratio to compare two quantities. This relation gives us how many times one quantity is equal to the other quantity. That is how I explained. For 1 cup of rice, you need 2 cups of water to cook it. The two numbers in a ratio can only be compared when they have the same unit. Here in my example, I am taking the same cup. Okay, 1 cup of rice and 2 cups of water. The sign used to denote a ratio is this one, colon, that is 2 dots, and we read it as is to. What is that? Is to. The sign used to denote a ratio is to. Next, you have key points to remember ratios. Learn these 4 points. The ratio should exist between the quantities of the same kind. While comparing two things, the units should be similar. Students, read the second point once again. While comparing two things, the units should be similar. This point I'll explain when we are doing the problems. There should be significant order of terms. There should be significant order of terms. I'll tell you with the same example of 1:2, that is rice to water. I told you 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water. Isn't it? Listen carefully. 1 cup of rice is to 2 cups of water. If I write it as 1:2, will be it same for 2:1? If I take 2 cups of rice and 1 cup of water, what will happen? The rice remains uncooked. So, remember that 1:2 is never equal to 2:1. Once again, 1:2 is never equal to 2:1. That is what the third point says. There should be significant order of terms. So, don't write 2:1 instead of writing 1:2. The comparison of two ratios can be formed if the ratios are equivalent like the fractions. When you compare two ratios, it should be equal like equivalent fractions. When we used to compare fractions, do you remember how did you do that? You converted the denominators to same, that is, you converted them to like fractions and then compared. The same rule is applicable for ratios. So what are the 4 points? The ratio should exist between the quantities of the same kind. While comparing two things, the units should be similar. There should be significant order of terms. The comparison of two ratios can be performed if the ratios are equivalent like the fractions. Let's see some examples. Find the ratio of the following. This is your exercise 8.1, first question. Speed of a cycle 15 km per hour to the speed of scooter 30 km per hour. So what are you comparing here? You are comparing the quantity speed. Okay, speed of a cycle to the speed of a scooter. Okay, now what is the speed of a cycle? It is 15 km per hour. What is the speed of the scooter? It is 30 km per hour. Which is the first quantity? First quantity is speed of the cycle. Which is the second quantity? It is speed of scooter. So I will write in such a way that speed of cycle comes first and speed of scooter comes second. That is what we learnt in the third point. Order of terms is very, very important. So 15 is to 30. How will you reduce to smallest term? Prime factorize. 15 is 3 into 5. 30 is 3 into 2 into 5. Cancel the common terms. Here also 3, 5. So what is remaining here? 1 is remaining and here 2 is remaining. So the ratio is 1 is to 2. Ratio is 1 is to 2. So what did you learn? When you compare or when you find the ratio, the quantities should be same. That is, here you are comparing speed. Okay. Now the unit should be same. Here what is this unit? 15 km per hour. Here also it is 30 km per hour. Next, 5 meter to 10 km. What is the quantity you are comparing here? Yes, it is the distance. Meter and kilometer is the unit of length. So 5 meter to 10 kilometer. Can you find any unusual thing there? Yes, the first quantity is in meters and the second quantity is in kilometers. They are not in same units. So what you are going to do is you will convert bigger unit to smaller unit. You will convert bigger unit to smaller unit. How will you convert? Bigger unit to smaller unit is multiplication. 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meter. So 10 kilometer is equal to 10 into 1000, 10,000 meter. Why did you do that? When you are finding a ratio, it should be very important that the two quantities should be in the same units. So here in the question, the first quantity is in meters and the second quantity is in kilometers. So I converted the bigger unit to the smallest one. So I got 5 meter is to 10,000 meters. Both the quantities are in meters. Now cancelling the common term, 5. 5 into 2000 is 10,000. So when I cancelled it, it became 1:2000. 1:2000. Hence the ratio 1:2000. Now in the next topic, very important topic in this chapter, that is percentage. That is percentage. You know that percentage is a fraction with the denominator 0. Okay, and the symbol is this one. You can see it in your mobile, laptop, keyboard, everywhere. Percentage has no units. Okay, they don't have a particular unit. To determine the percentage, we have to divide the value by the total value and then multiply the resultant to 100. How can you tell me where did you use percentage more often in your school life? Yes, that is when you finish your test and the teacher gives you the papers, you will start calculating the percentage of your marks, isn't it? That is the very important application which you come across in your school life. Let's see. Convert the following ratios to percentage. Convert the following ratios to percentage. This is a question that relates ratio to percentage. Okay. 3:4. What is the ratio? 3:4. So how will you find the ratio? Percentage. 3/4 into 100. The ratio, we will write it as fraction and then multiply it with 100. The ratio given to you, you will write it as fraction and then multiply it with 100. When you were in 7th, I told you if you want to convert any number, any type of number to percentage, you will multiply it with 100. Here the ratio 3:4 is given to you. So 3/4 into 100. You will get 75%. Next question is 2:3. How will you write it as fraction? 2:3 can be written as 2/3 and multiply it with 100. 2:3 can be written as 2/3 and if you want to convert it to percentage, multiply it with 100. 200/3, converting it into mixed fraction, we will get it as 66 2/3%. By this, I will end our first class on comparing quantities. Here you learn what are ratios and what is a percentage. Clear? We'll continue in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.